I also spoke to Colm McMahon, who's a former Munster player and is now head of rugby development at the club. Colm talks about the important work Munster does by going into schools throughout the province and training young kids. They also train up new coaches. Colm was at last year's dinner and he said the event serves as an important vehicle to fund the next generation of Munster stars.
We look to support the game throughout the province in schools and clubs. So we have a team of rugby development officers who go out to schools and clubs and support the volunteer network that's out there and try and promote best practice coaching, trying to make sure that we have a really good environment for the children to play the game and enjoy it, and try and raise the standards and give everyone an opportunity to play.
And is that throughout the whole province of Munster that you're involved in?
Yeah, we've coverage of the six counties, and we're always trying to grow the game into areas where it may not have been traditional as well, which lines up a lot with some of the New York support we get.
Yeah. And tell me, so you say you're going to schools, what kind of age group would you be training? And it's boys and girls, I understand.
Yeah, boys and girls, every age. So we would go into primary schools and promote the game to try and give kids an opportunity to play. Some kids in them schools will have played already with their local club. If they haven't, trying to give them an opportunity to play in the school, and hopefully then they will go and join their local club. That's what we're trying to do. That would be the primary school side of things, and then in secondary school we would also go in and we'd have two programs going on there where we support schools that have traditional rugby schools and then schools that are emerging schools where we're trying to help them to get the game up and running, and some of them are very well established and they do a great job themselves, but it's just to support them with staff who actually are dedicated towards that role.
Yeah, and I understand you train coaches as well to bring them up to standard at the latest coaching drills, and then they go and coach the kids.
Yeah, we're always trying to share what's deemed best practice, so we would have a huge amount of work to do with regards trying to make sure we're getting really good practice out there and everything has been done as safe as possible, and that the coaching that the kids are getting is as good as possible so that they enjoy it more, it's safe, and they enjoy the game, and then they keep coming back to it. So it's trying to make sure that they stay in the game then.
So, like, Munster won the URC earlier this year, a huge boost for everyone involved in Munster. Do you think that's important for kids to see that kind of win and then to aspire to replicate that further on in their career and develop into established players?
Yeah, I suppose every sport, like back when we were kids and we all went out on the road playing tennis when Wimbledon was on, everybody likes, and there's so much sport on TV now. So of course it is, and it's we've done a great job actually promoting rugby since the massive URC win. We've had the trophy on tour for the summer, going in and out of summer camps that we did with kids and that kind of stuff. So we're trying to make sure that we do that everybody in the community relates to it, and it gives a little bump to every club and school so that they try to keep their numbers healthy and have more participants.
Yeah, that's a massive appeal, especially with there's so many sports in Ireland for kids to choose from.
Yeah, it is, and we see that now as in there's so many activities on, such a range. I suppose when I was young, it was it was football or hurley, and it was the shape of the ball was the only thing. Whereas now there's so many other activities that they can do. So it's trying to make sure that it's a really enjoyable one and they keep coming back.
And just fast forwarding to you're out here in New York, arrived last night. I understand that you're going to be going out to some school later on in Hoboken to do some coaching. Tell me about some of the on the ground work you're going to be doing here while in New York.
Yeah, we're heading to Hoboken later on. We're going to train in Frank Sinatra Park with a school out there, and we did the same last year with Xavier here in Manhattan, and we will after that then we're going out to Morris to train with a club out there this evening. So again, it's to try and I suppose that's what we do back in Ireland. So it's to try and do the same formula here. We go in, we support the coaches, we try and show them what we feel are good drills, are good practice, good activities, and try and I suppose just share the knowledge. Sometimes we learn a lot from the coaches that we go in to support as well. So it's hand in hand. Sometimes we see stuff that we haven't seen before, and we think that's brilliant. So we'll take a bit of that, and we'll give them a little bit of something that we've come up with that we feel is a good activity and enjoyable for kids as well.
Okay, so the Friends of Munster Dinner is on tomorrow night. It's been hugely successful over the last couple of years, sold out weeks in advance. You've been at it last year. How important is the Friends of Munster Dinner to the development of the next generation of Munster talent?
Yeah, it's a massive support for us. I suppose we have a huge network of community rugby officers who go in and out of schools, and we offer the clubs. So we try and get the clubs to engage with us, and then we use the support we get from New York to fund that. So they directly are helping us get coaches in and out of the schools to keep growing the game and going to areas where rugby isn't traditional. Again, like I said, as an example, West Cork would be an area where over the last couple of years we've really had lots of really good quality community officers down there, and it's meant then that more players have played the game, joined their local clubs, and then the more players you have, the quality rises. And I suppose we're trying to foster that everywhere throughout the province.
There's been a huge appeal to the Friends of Munster Dinner. Were you surprised that there's such an appeal out here in New York to Munster?
Yeah, I was, and last year was the first year I came over, and the first thing that struck me was when I met the New York committee that support us. The Irish guys knew more about what was going on back at home than myself, so they certainly stay very involved, and it's fantastic to have that support. But when I turned up last year, I ended up meeting a guy that I had met in Patrickswell that was asking me for a job a couple of weeks earlier, and he had just arrived in New York 2 days, got an invite to the dinner, and he was there in a flash. So again, the network of Irish people over here is huge. Obviously they support each other, and it's fantastic that they're getting together and supporting us in the way they do, and it's huge for rugby development, the support we get from them.
A huge organisational effort went into the Friends of Munster Dinner. Could you tell me who was involved and some details into how it all came, or how it was organised this year?
Yeah, there's a great committee there here in New York that support us, and I suppose we've a lot of emails over and back, but that committee are due a huge thanks from Munster, and the work that they do over here to make sure this event goes so well is fantastic. And I suppose we're only thrilled to come over, support them with the dinner and the training sessions, because they do massive work over here, and we're delighted to have that connection. We want to keep building it and make it as strong as possible.
And that's all for this week's podcast. Let us know what you think by leaving a comment on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter at The Long Haul Podcast, or check out our website, thelonghaulpodcast.com. As mentioned during my podcast with Donncha O'Callaghan last week, Munster are looking for charitable people to sign up for its Patreon programme that helps fund player development in the province. Email Mark O'Driscoll at munsterrugby.ie for more. Slán go fóill, and thanks for listening.
Oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka to me? Why, you Santy, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka?